What's cracking, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. New video. So I was getting ready to record, going through my morning thing, my morning process, and I decided to go ahead and check out some of the comments, right? And I did that. I had a video in mind. I'll tell you guys right now the name of the video. I don't know the name, actually what the name is, but the idea is, how dangerous are level 2 killers really? And I have my take on it, my spin on it. And I was going to do that video. And then on my screen, I got the notification from one of my subscribers, Doom. And I'm going to put up the comment that he made, comment that he left. And I'm going to do a video based off of that. Okay. Because I feel like it's more important. And I know that Doom isn't the only one dealing with this, going through this, pondering this, whatever you want to say. And so let's get to it. Doom says, honestly, these are my favorite videos, man. I think these kind of videos help me take a breath and humble myself. I got 1 foot in and 1 foot out, but I know I'm never putting both feet in again. It's just hard to let go and move on from a scene I grew up in. But I'm 36 now. I know I don't want to get back on paper, and that's for sure. So there's a lot in there, a lot we can talk about. And that's why, to me, it's important. And to me, it is worth making this video. So Doom was talking about the video I made the other day, why I hadn't put out any content, and when I was talking about how I am a representative, I'm a representation of those guys still behind the walls that are trying to get out and be out here and be productive members of society, and that I need to remember that, right? I believe that's the video he was talking about. And so I'm gonna break a few of these lines down that are in the video. In the comment. So where Doom says, I got 1 foot in and 1 foot out, but I know I'm never putting both feet in again. I'm always gonna be very blunt. I had a reputation of that. I have a reputation for that. And I used to tell people used to say, hey Holmes, you want to know the truth? Ask this motherfucker. And, if somebody asks me something, I'm going to tell you how I feel. And I'm going to tell you how I see it. And I would tell people, look, homie, the truth might hurt, Holmes, but a lie will get you killed. So I don't lie about nothing, Holmes. And so this line right here, again, I got 1 foot in and 1 foot out. But I'm never putting both feet in again. You don't have any foot in, Holmes. You don't have any feet in anymore. When you come to that part of your life where you're that mature, where you understand that you don't need to have both feet in, you don't have any feet in. Because if you're not doing it 100%, you're setting yourself up for failure. Okay? Anybody in this position that's feeling the same way, like, maybe they just had a kid or they just got a job or they're just tired. There's no such thing as having 1 foot in, 1 foot out. People from the outside in, looking in, could say that about you. But you yourself gotta know that if you can say to yourself, when it's something that you believed in and something that you dedicated yourself and were willing to sacrifice everything for, if you can say, I got 1 foot out, they're both out. They're both out. You're just dragging that second one. And if you wait too long, it's going to get caught in the door, homie. Okay. Next is, but I know I'm never putting both feet in again. It's just hard to let go and move on from a scene I grew up in. This is important. Again, it's hard. Look, it's just hard to let go and move on from a scene I grew up in. That scene moved on, homie. That's why you have 1 foot out. You're holding on to something that doesn't exist. You're holding on to ideals that you were raised on, but the people around you aren't raised with the same ones. Even when you try to pass them down, you can see that they don't stick. It's a different era. You're not a part of it, Holmes. You're trying to hold on to the past. Believe me, I know. We all do that. It's how long does it take us to realize it's moved on already? It's moved on. I'm trying to make something out of nothing. I'm trying to make people see things the way I see them. It's not going to work. And a lot of times it creates animosity, dislike. And he says, I don't want to get back on paper, that's for sure. Sticking around will lead to that, Holmes. And you know what? It was like 1987, maybe 1988. My mom called her brother about me gangbanging, right? And this fool drove in from LA. I don't know him. I know who he is, right? He's from Northside Monte. He had done, he's one of the ones in my family. I said, I'm the fourth one in my family busted for murder. He's one of the ones that he had a life without sentence. And he did, I think it was around 8 years. And his case got completely thrown out. And he got out of prison. Big dude, yoked up, tagged down. He's a maniac, right? He's just a nut. So he comes and he decides he's going to have a conversation with me, right? Man, he made it clear. I don't give a fuck what you do, Holmes. The only reason why I'm here is because my sister, your mom, asked me to come and talk to you. Whatever you fucking do, that's on you. But let me just tell you something. And he told me, this gangbanging shit, you think that shit's cool? It ain't cool, Holmes. He said, these vatos you think are your homeboys, they're not going to do time with you. He said, half of these motherfuckers are going to tell on you. This is in the 80s. He said, half of these motherfuckers are going to tell on you when the shit hits the fan, especially when it's something serious. He said, you think your homeboy's going to send you any money? You think your homeboy's going to go visit you? He said, you know what your homeboys are going to do? He said, they're going to be the first ones to try to fuck your lady when you get busted. They're going to be all up in your lady's ear. Hey, he ain't getting out, man. Just let's kick it. You know, and what he said in the 80s applied in the 90s as well as in the 2000s. We all want to feel like whatever happened to the other homie won't happen to me. Oh, I'm more respected in the neighborhood. Yeah, how much bigger is your cell going to be than his when you guys are neighbors in the county jail and when you guys are neighbors in the joint? I understand why people get involved in gangs and criminality, man, because I understand why I did, right? I don't ever try to talk down on anyone caught up in that lifestyle because I understand what led you there, right? But I am at an age where I'm 50 years old, man, and I talk about it all the time. There are barrios here that are over 100 years old, man. People doing the same thing. Doing it in different ways, but they're doing the same thing. Getting caught, going to jail, going to prison, killing. You know, a lot of these barrios that are 100 years old, they're about half the size they were when they started. So after 100 years, they didn't expand. They didn't buy up all the homes in the neighborhood. They lost territory. They lost homeboys. They lost family members. They hurt their family. They hurt other people's family. At what point do we realize we got to get off the hamster wheel, man? Like, that homie that you really respect and you really looked up to, if he's still alive but he's doing life in prison, you know what he would do to fucking be in your shoes, man? You know, he can't even say it. He can't even verbalize it because he's got to focus on what he's what he's caught up in behind those walls, man. Whatever it is. But deep down in his heart, he wishes he was in your position. And he's not going to tell you, but in his mind, in the back of his mind, if you tell him I got 1 foot in, 1 foot out, he's going to be thinking, what the fuck are you doing, Holmes? You want to hang around a bunch of swinging dicks and behind the wall? Is that what you want to do? You have women out here. You have freedom. There's so many things that we take for granted out here. Well, that most people do. I don't. And that homie that died for what you were running around believing in or caught a life sentence, do you really honor him by catching a life sentence and sitting next to him? Or the one that died, do you really honor him by dying and being buried next to him? Nah, you don't. You don't. At some point, we all got to grow up, man. We all got to grow up and realize what's important, Holmes. You know? Again, the scene you grew up in, the scene any of you guys that have 1 foot in, 1 foot out, the life the lifestyle that you lived is not the lifestyle that the youngsters are living. You can listen to them and you can tell. You can look at them and tell. They may get into something and their way of dealing it is a lot less severe than yours. But there you go. You're going to put a demonstration down. And you're just going to demonstrate how to get another life sentence. Or how to be buried. Or how to have somebody else buried. It's not an accomplishment, man. Killing's easy. Killing is easy. And it only takes a couple seconds. Think about that. Something that takes a second or two to complete will take you a lifetime of misery. I trip out on vatos that you know, they say they're willing to kill. That's easy, Holmes, but are you willing to do the time? Especially out here in California. Those of you that think you're killers, hey, I tip my hat to you, Holmes. You're a killer, eh? Congratulations. And when you go and you sit down behind those walls, guess what? It's not going to be a rival faction that's going to politic on you. It's going to be your own, Holmes. So when you think killing is easy, you're right. Doing time ain't. Going to mental warfare with your own homies. It's happening. It's going to happen. You will find yourself at some point, unless you're just a bum on the yard, a yard slug, the vato that just sits around waiting for somebody to tell you what to do. If you want to try to make your way of living behind those walls a little more comfortable, you're going to get involved in stuff. And you're going to get into skirmishes with your own. And if you don't have the equipment up here to deal with that type of maneuvering, it's going to be rough on you. You don't just get to kill people out here and then go in there and people celebrate and high-five you. And nah, Holmes. You did what everybody else did. You ain't special. Now, you're with the big boys. There's no sympathy. Straight cutthroat, man. So, anyways, just some food for thought, man. For anybody that needed it, there's some food for thought for you. I hope you enjoyed this video. Everybody, please be safe, be smart, and tell the ones you love that you love them, man. I'm out of here.